Lasting relief from a tight psoas is real, but you've probably never tried it this way. In just a few minutes, you can release years of tension using a guided exhalation technique that realigns your body's inner axis. The real issue is not the contracted muscle, but a lost breathing pattern that keeps your nervous system in a constant state of alert. Once you understand this, you let go for good of the stretches that never truly solve the root of the problem. The pain in your groin and lower back that stops you from moving freely, that restricts your gestures and builds daily tension, comes from a breath that never learned how to drop down. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your lower belly right now. Feel where your breath actually goes when you inhale. The difference you notice in this moment reveals why the psoas stays tight. The key to releasing the psoas lies in a specific exhalation that draws the ribs inward and teaches your diaphragm to guide your center. We are about to show you exactly how to make it work. You'll dissolve tension in a way you've never tried before. The secret is in the guided exhalation, a breath that gathers the ribs and activates the axis of the body. When you extend the out-breath in a controlled way, you communicate directly with the autonomic nervous system, sending a message of safety to muscles that have been on high alert for years. The psoas is not just a bundle of muscle fibers, but a neurofascial sentinel that responds to internal command, not external force. It reacts to the autonomic state, not to pressure from the outside. This is the turning point, working with the neural origin of tension, not just the muscular symptom. Your body is a living temple with a sacred geometry, a precise internal organization that is lost when the breath disconnects from the center. The method you're about to learn brings together ancient wisdom on body alignment with modern discoveries from polyvagal theory. You won't just relax the psoas, you'll teach your nervous system to recognize true safety. When that happens, the release comes from within, like a memory that awakens. The body remembers its natural organizational intelligence. This approach is revolutionary because it works on 3 levels at once: neural, fascial, and energetic. You don't force change, you create the conditions for it to naturally emerge. In the end, you'll have a repeatable method that melts away tension in minutes and gets stronger with practice. More than a technique, you'll master a principle. When the breath finds the center, unnecessary tension dissolves. Your psoas stops being a problem and becomes the gateway to free movement and grounded presence. The corpus hermeticum reveals the forgotten axiom: without a center, there is no order, and without an axis, the sacred fire scatters instead of rising. The hermetic principle of the inner temple demands precise structure to support transformation. A tight psoas is a symptom of a temple without alignment, where vital energy leaks out through the cracks. Alchemical tradition understood that the vessel must be whole. An unstable pelvis is a cracked vessel, unable to contain or direct the force meant to nourish the entire system. The discovery of polyvagal theory unveils the hidden mechanism. Prolonged exhalations activate the ventral vagus nerve, the neural branch that signals deep safety to the body. This nerve governs postural muscles through direct chemical messages, letting the psoas know it no longer needs to stay on guard. Each controlled breath is a command of peace sent to the most primitive structures. What the ancients called communication with the body, neuroscience now calls autonomic modulation. Fascial anatomy has revealed something even more remarkable. There is a continuous line connecting the diaphragm, psoas, and pelvic floor, forming a network that responds to internal pressure. When the ribs draw inward during a guided exhalation, this fascial web reorganizes, redistributing force from areas of tension. The psoas then lets go of its compensatory roles and returns to its original function in the mechanics of walking. When conscious breathing meets precise body geometry, it awakens a cellular memory that goes beyond technique. Unnecessary tension dissolves like mist, and the temple regains its sacred axis through a reorganization that comes from within. The body's alarm system works like a cascading mechanism that few truly understand. When your ribs stay chronically open, the diaphragm loses its zone of apposition, the area where its fibers connect to the ribs to generate effective internal pressure. Without this functional zone, the diaphragm acts only as a surface-level breathing muscle, abandoning its role as a central stabilizer. Your nervous system reads this loss of pressure as structural instability, instantly activating compensation protocols. The psoas receives a neural order to tighten and take on postural roles that were never its responsibility. Observe your own body now. Place one hand on your chest and the other on your lower belly. Take 3 normal breaths and notice where the movement happens. If only your upper hand moves, you've just confirmed the alarm pattern: high breathing that keeps the ribs expanded and the diaphragm compromised. Your groin likely responds with tension when you flex your hips or walk at a faster pace. Your lower back stays alert, never fully relaxing, even when you lie down. These are body codes from a system that has lost its reference to center. The autonomic nervous system reads your body's architecture as a direct language of safety or threat. Open ribs translate into a state of readiness for fight or flight, an active sympathetic mode that keeps postural muscles on standby. Your psoas does not choose to stay tense. It follows neural commands based on the structural organization you provide. When breathing stays high, the ribcage expanded, an internal pressure scattered, the body interprets this as an unstable environment. Psoas tension is an intelligent response from a system that senses constant danger. Transformation begins when you realize you're not fighting a stubborn muscle, but communicating with a highly sophisticated protection system. Your task is not to force relaxation, but to reorganize the signals you send to the nervous system through the structure of your own body. Reorganization happens through 3 access portals that awaken the body's dormant intelligence. The first portal is seated anchoring. Position yourself on the ischial bones, the pointed bones at the base of the pelvis that serve as the roots of the temple. Sit without back support, allowing your spine to find its natural alignment. Place your right hand on your lower belly, about 2 fingers below the navel, and your left hand on your lower ribs. This setup turns your hands into antennas that pick up subtle shifts in internal pressure. Inhale gently through your nose for 2 to 3 seconds, without raising your shoulders or forcing expansion. The movement should be minimal, almost imperceptible. Now comes the crucial part. Exhale through your mouth as if fogging up a glass, prolonging the outbreath for 6 to 8 seconds. Feel your ribs drawing inward beneath your left palm, while the lower belly becomes warm and dense under your right hand. When done correctly, your neck remains relaxed. Your eyelids soften, and something in your groin feels like it lets go, a barely noticeable but deep sense of relief. The second portal is the wall alignment. Stand with your back against a wall, heels about 10 to 15 centimeters away, knees relaxed but not locked. Touch your lower ribs with your middle fingers and perform the same prolonged exhalation until you feel the wall receiving your ribs as they move downward. At the end of the exhale, press about 20% of your weight into your inner right heel without tightening your glute, and notice how the oblique on that side subtly activates. This activation awakens the oblique ductor sling, a deep muscular chain that stabilizes the pelvis from within. The mechanics of intra-abdominal pressure function like an internal hydraulic system that few truly master. When the air leaves in a long, controlled stream, The ribs descend and the diaphragm regains its zone of apposition, creating a gentle vacuum that reorganizes internal forces. The psoas receives a new neural command. It can let down its guard because central stability has been restored. Each guided exhalation is real-time somatic reprogramming. The somatic check-in reveals the transformation through precise tests that your body cannot fake. Stand up and test your hip flexion. Lift the knee that used to pinch and see if the movement feels freer, if the resistance has decreased. Gently touch the path of the psoas, just medial to the anterior superior iliac spine, toward the groin, and notice if the sensitivity has dropped by at least one level. Walk for 30 to 60 seconds. Paying attention to the sole of your foot, it should land like a full plate, not just with the big toe pushing alone. These are body codes, confirming real reorganization, not placebo. Consolidation follows a specific dosage to avoid overloading the nervous system. Perform 6 to 10 breathing cycles per session, organized into 1 or 2 rounds per day in the first few days. If you feel lightheaded, shorten the exhale to 4 to 6 seconds. Your autonomic system is learning a new language and needs time to integrate it. Signs of progress include breath naturally descending into the lower belly, a less reactive groin during movement, and the sense that your lower back disarmed during sleep. The change is cumulative, not linear. Anchoring this into daily life turns the technique into a living pattern. Practice 3 cycles upon waking, still in bed, to set the tone for a grounded day. Do 1 round before physical activity to prepare the center and avoid compensations. Repeat before sleep, allowing the body to enter rest with a regulated nervous system. The method strengthens through conscious repetition. Each session teaches your psoas a new way to respond to internal command. When the breath finds the center and the ribs follow the lead of the exhalation, you reclaim lost territory within your own body. The sentinel can finally rest because it recognizes the temple has restored its sacred axis. Dexter had built an entire career around compensating for pain. As an art director in London, he spent hours hunched over drawing tables, forcing creativity through a body that protested with every movement. His groin would burn on the way to meetings, and his lower back would seize up during important presentations. Massage therapists spoke of trigger points, and physical therapists prescribed endless stretches, but the stiffness always came back like a tide that knew no rest. The discovery came by accident on a deadline-heavy afternoon. Seated on his ischial bones to relieve pressure on his lower back, Dexter began to sigh involuntarily, long exhalations that seemed to rise on their own. He noticed his ribs moving differently, folding inward like an accordion, finally finding its rhythm. For the first time in years, his groin didn't react when he stood up. Something had shifted in the internal architecture of his movement. That night, he applied the breath intentionally, 6 seconds of guided exhalation, feeling the ribs descend as the lower belly gained warm density. The psoas responded by releasing layers of tension he didn't even know he was holding. In the weeks that followed, his creativity exploded. Ideas flowed without the fog of constant pain. Meetings were no longer endurance tests, and walking became a pleasure instead of a negotiation with his body. Dexter had discovered the breath is a direct language to the nervous system. When the air found the center, the internal sentinel could finally rest. His presence became grounded, his projects gained new depth, and his body stopped being an obstacle and became a silent ally in creative expression. What changed in Dexter's story now crystallizes in your own body through clear physical markers. Notice how your breath now settles naturally into the lower belly without conscious effort. That confirms your diaphragm has regained its zone of action. Your groin reacts less when you move, a sign that the psoas has let go of its compensatory roles. Your lower back can rest because it no longer needs to guard an unstable center. The signature gesture that seals this transformation is simple: a soft touch on your lower ribs, followed by a long 6-second exhale. Do this whenever you feel the old pattern trying to return. In 30 seconds, you reconnect with your restored axis. This micro-ritual works as a master key, immediately accessing the reorganized state. Your reset point combines phrase, breath, and posture in a fluid sequence. Repeat mentally: ribs descend. Center awakens, while performing a prolonged exhalation and consciously settling into your ischial bones. When stress or urgency threatens to throw your system off balance, this sequence restores your internal geometry in less than a minute. The new somatic pattern sustains itself through conscious repetition until it becomes your body's automatic response. The sentinel has learned a new language of safety. Your tight psoas revealed something beyond physical pain, a nervous system that had forgotten how to recognize true safety. When the ribs draw inward through guided exhalation, a reorganization occurs that goes beyond technique. It is cellular memory awakening. The inner sentinel can finally rest because the temple has regained its original architecture. Each conscious breath reconnects you with the organizational intelligence that has always lived within your body, simply waiting for the right conditions to express itself. Buckminster Fuller once said, "You never change something by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the old one obsolete." Your body just built that new model, not through force or manipulation, but by offering your nervous system a language it naturally understands. A released psoas is not a victory over the body, but a restored partnership between awareness and physical form. There is something profoundly sacred in discovering that your body holds its own intelligence, waiting only for your conscious presence to reorganize itself. When breath meets center, unnecessary tension dissolves, because there is no longer a conflict between intention and structure. You didn't tame a rebellious muscle, you awakened a sleeping temple. What shifts is not just movement, but presence. Now you know guided exhalation is the bridge between mind and matter, the master key to a house that has always been yours, but that you had forgotten how to fully inhabit. If this message resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That helps us expand this field of knowledge that transforms lives through embodied wisdom. I want to know how you feel this transformation in your own body. Share in the comments. I activate lasting psoas relief through guided exhalation. This declaration seals your practice and strengthens our somatic transformation community. Share this video with someone who needs to discover this form of release. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into more transformational content from the channel, where each revelation awakens a new layer of body and soul awareness. Remember, there is no force in the universe more powerful than a body that remembers how to breathe from its own center.